Hello everyone, welcome again. And this video, in this session, we are going to continue the Spring Boot project development. The project name is Bug Tracking System. And now I'm going to run this and quickly recap the previous sessions that we have done. So till now, we have done the login registration, logout, user list, header implementation, and many part like three sessions are already done, 3 or 4 sessions. So I'm going to continue this next. So let me execute the project. Let me run the project and show the features and functionality that we have done till now. Also, I will recommend you if you are not aware with the previous sessions, just I will add the link in the description box. So just go there and watch them and then continue this because we are following one series over here for the complete project development in a Spring Boot from scratch. So this video will be the next video for that series. So you have to follow that first. So as you can see, the project is running over there, and I have just entered the URL. So till now we have homepage, sign up. We have done the sign up also as well as login. So I just go to as a login as an admin. I need to enter the correct password for this admin user, and this is the password. I'm going to add the password, and after that we have done with the user list and the add user. And today in this session, first we will add a filter here. So this list only show the user list, and then we'll move to implement the edit and delete. Like edit and delete is not implemented yet. So probably in this session we will finish these things. So let's continue. So how can we filter this data? Like currently we have user type as a admin. Two types of users are there, users and admin. And I want display only users in this list. Admin should not be display. And we have one record as admin that is here we are getting. So quickly, how can I do that? So for that, I just go to the controller and at the user controller, we are displaying a list from here. Where is the list? Here we are displaying the list. When user will call this user list, it will be display this list. So into this, what I can do, I can implement one features here. So let's say I'm going to add a list, list dot filter. Oh, sorry, first we have to stream it. So let's dot stream the filter. I'm going to say list L and lambda expression L dot user role. I'm going to just adding a check over there. Oh no, I don't want to set it. I just want to add dot get user role dot equals to what is the name and what is the role type user. That's it. So then okay, after that we can add a collector over there. So we need to collect and here I'm going to add a collector. Collector from the stream. Now this one collect. Do we have a collector here? Yes, we have from util stream. And here I'm going to pass dot to list. So what I need to implement here, we are just going to add a filter over there. So for that, we are going to verifying the user as either the user role should be equals to this, and then we are going to collect the collectors list. Okay, so we have to put here, I mean say collectors dot to list. Okay, I want to convert it into a to list. That's fine. Okay, now we have added one filter here. This is the Java features coming from the lambda expression. We can directly filter the data according to our requirement here. So I have added one check over there. If user role will be user, then only this list will be display. Okay, so also we can assign this value to this list that we are going to return from here. And when I go there, I refresh the page, and you can see the admin is gone now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 records. And into the database also we have total 6 records. One is admin. Let's say I'm going to change this user role as an admin. Now the first record with a name of Vivin, and Vivin 2 times is there. So I'm going to remove this one, this one. So the first record should not be displayed with the name of Vivin, Vivine. Yeah, this term name should not be displayed. It's not displaying now. And I go here into the login, admin, user list. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 record only, because total there are 6 record into the database and 2 are the admin. So we have added the filter directly and our returning where we are returning our list from user controller, and now it's working. Okay. So our next task to continue this session is we have to implement the edit option. Okay, so how can we implement that our edit option? Let's say this user click on this edit button and it's going to return on the user edit and the ID is 6. Okay, from where this data is coming? This is coming from header section. I will show you. Just wait. The body section, header section. No, it's not coming from the header section. It's coming from the user view list. So in the user based list, in the last session, we have implemented this user list and passing the ID of that particular record while click on this edit button. Similarly, we are calling a user delete when passing that ID of that user record. So now we have to implement this user edit in our database. So how this process will work for the edit operation: when user will click on this edit button, the record, the form will be redirected to this add user, and whatever the data for that user we have here, the data should be displayed here, and then user will update the records, then it will be updated. So how can we do that quickly? So I just go to our user controller, and here I'm going to create another get mapping, and here I'm going to pass this user edit that we are calling here. And now, okay, sorry, I have to define the name as well. The name will be, we have to define a method here. We have just defined the get mapping, and after that we are going to create a public string update method, update that. And here we are going to use the same form and models. So I'm going to just use it. Also, it will take a input as a request param. Okay, so I'm going to say add request param, and what is the name of that parameter is ID, and it will be a ID over there. Okay, something is wrong. Let me check here. We are passing this ID, so we have to get this ID into our request parameter over there. So, no, what's the error? Okay, we didn't define a return type. It's fine. Now it's asking to return some. So let's say currently I'm returning return null. That's fine. Now what we need to do, we have to find out the data by this ID. So how can we find this data? First, we have to go to the service and implement the data. So I just go in my service section. In the service, we have a user service already. In the same service, we are going to implement another method that will return the information of that particular user. So public user DTO, we need a user DTO, and it will say find user by ID, or we can say just user by ID. and it will take an input parameter as a long ID. And from where we will get this? We will get this from here user dot find by ID, and we'll pass this ID here, and then this will return this DTO directly. So we can find the user information by this method. So we have this into our user service. If I move to the user controller now, so what can I do? I can say user service dot find by ID, and here I'm going to pass the user. What this method will return is will return it will return a user DTO. I can say UDTO, right? So this user DTO will be returned into this method, and okay, now we have this user DTO. Now where we need to add this DTO into our model into the return section. So we can say model dot add attribute, and what is this? This is the user, and we have to update the UDTO. Okay, I think everything is fine. And where we need to redirect this user, we need to redirect this user over our registration page. Okay, into the string format. Okay, I think it's fine now. And okay, we can keep like we have to check what name we are using here. So into our registration form, I think we are using beans over there. So we can say, okay, do one thing here into our user controller, we can say this name as a bean, and here we have to populate the data. So we can say form dot populate user detail, right? And where this populate is coming and what this populate is doing, the data that is coming from this user update, when user will click on the user edit, the user information will come in the form of form, and then we are populating the data, and this data we are going to set into an object over there, and then we have all the values like first name, last name, and other values will be added over there. And after that, we have populate this bean, and then we have added this bean to the return to the registration page from here. Okay, that's nice. Now I think it should work. Well, let me check quickly. I just go to the login page. I log in as an admin. I go to the user list, click on the edit. So see, it's redirecting over the page and automatically fetching the data and set the data here. Okay, so now also showing the option as a update. How we have changed this option into our registration form, we have one check over there. If form ID is greater than 0, then it will display update, otherwise it will display save option. Save option means a fresh record is going to register, so there will be ID equals to 0. But here during the update, we are updating the populate, or we are populating the form. That's why the ID will be greater than 1 always. In that case, it will display update, otherwise it will display submit or save. So, but now when let's say I want to change this name, update this name, and I click extra Y over there and click on the update. It says email is already registered because, and it's not updating the data because while we adding the data, we are submitting the request to this add form where this add user. So in this add user also we have to make some changes. Let's say here we have add user where we are going to add the data. Here I'm going to add one condition. If form dot get ID is greater than 0, then we have to update the record. Otherwise, we have to save the record. Okay, so I just added that save condition in else part, and here we are going to write the code for the update user. Okay, and here we are going to implement the add user. Now, to update the user also, we have to implement the method into the service class and say for that, I'm going to say public user DTO, and let's say I'm going to keep it a name as update, and this will return a user DAO. Also, it will take an input as a user input on which data we need to update. So we can say user DTO dot DTO. We can name it as a DTO bean or user. It's totally depend on us. And after that, what it will return? It will return a method from user DAO to save and flush. Save and flush will update our DTO. Okay, that's fine. Now come back to the user controller, and here from this service, what is the name of service? It's a user service. We are going to call user service dot update, and what we are going to pass here. Okay, we have this user DTO from here. Okay, we can define it here. That's fine. And we are going to pass this user here this time. So what we have done, we have defined a user form dot get DTO. So we have get the information of the user from the form, and then we'll check if ID is greater than 0. Then form dot get ID equals to 0. Then we have added this user here to the update. Otherwise, it will be added to there. And also, what we can do, it's redirecting to the user page again. And we have to set the user role as well. I think we don't need to set it duplicate time. And here we can add another model. In this case, the success query will say, the success variable will say user is updated successfully. Successfully, okay? I added that. Let's try. Okay, so I'm going to log out now. Okay, yeah, I know that. So I just here. Let's log in as an admin. Go here, click on the user list, and say now I want to add some extra Y. Click on the update. You can say user is updated successfully. Now if I check the user list, you can say it's updated. Let's say I want to change the name plot to P. I just click on the update. You can say it's updated. So now edit is working for all of them. Okay, but it's showing like while we updating the data, it's saying the user role is going to 0, like it's not showing the user role. Also, while it's showing the user list here, in this case, when I click on this, it's showing me the user which have an admin role, but the filter is not working over here. So let me quickly check what's wrong over there. So when I update the records, it's actually not updating. It's adding a new records over there. So what can I do for that? Let me quickly check this. Uh, what we can do first, I have just cleared some data from my database, and let's debug the code why we are getting this issue, why the data is not updating. Okay, so first thing, data is coming here while we're updating the data in the form of ID, and we have user DTO where we are going to pass the ID. and we are getting ID greater than because we are getting update option over there. So if I check over here and I click on the edit option, you can see we can see the update option. It means data is getting greater than, and this data we are passing from this form.id. Now, when I go to this form, sorry, over the controller, and it says form.id, we are getting this form here. Then we set this user as a form, and then we are checking if is then ID. The first thing what I can do, I can keep it here. I can just print this message as a ID. So it will clear out me why we are getting this. What is the exact ID we are getting from the database? So user.get ID, and here I just say user ID and just going to print it. Also, I don't need to set it 0 because we need to update the exact ID that is coming from the database. Okay, so I just clear my console and now I will try to update some data. So let's say I just log in, user list, and here let's say I want to update this grant user, update. It says it's adding a new, okay, and here we have null, also showing the admin, and you can see the user ID is coming as a 0. So what we can do for that, we have to check why this user ID is coming as a 0 over there. It means it's coming as a 0. It means this condition is executing and it's adding the new records over there. So let me check the forms. We are passing the ID from here under the use. Okay, under the user form, we need to set the ID as well. So I can say dto.set ID. This ID we have defined, we don't define here, but it's available into the base GTO here. So we need to set this as well into the user form. So I set this as a DTO.set ID, and here we need to get it again. So after that only it will populate the data. Okay. So get ID. So during the populate data, it's not populating the ID. Other all the fields are populating over there. So now we are populating the ID as well. So this ID should be increased now, or it should be give a valid number, and then we are going to update it and update successfully. That's it. That's it. That's it. Okay, quickly do it again. What I can do, I can go to the user list. While you making changes into the controller, make sure you are creating a new session always. That will be helpful. So I'm going to update this user, let's say, and we're going to give it a meaningful name and click on update. It says this time it says user update successfully means that user is updated to and then create a new record. But if you notice, it's showing a null value over there, and the filter is not working and showing admin as well, admin record as well. So we are getting one error here. Cannot invoke this string. This object is null because these values stored into the database are null. So what we can do while we are updating the record, we can use set this value as a user. Then it will not show any null value. So for the existing record, I'm going to update this into the database as well. I think it's fine now. And if I refresh this, logged in again, I will give me a good result. So now I can update it. So let's add a quickly new record first. I just add a new record with this. I just submit it. It's saying registered successfully. I can see the list here. Now I can update this record. Let's say testing update last name. I update it. I check the user list. It's updated now. That's fine. So update is perfectly working now. You can see the IDs are now showing as a 30 user ID. So we have to check it like this. So quickly, I'm going to recap this, how we have implemented this registration update option. First, user will be on the user list. Then we will call that user on this edit user edit mapping. And then when user will click on the edit button, it will be go to the user controller. And here into the user controller, we are going to find that user information by the ID, and then we'll populate the data all the information of the user into the form, into the Spring form. Then we are sending this data back to the registration form, so it can be displayed over that form. And then user will click on the update. The request will be come to again to the end user. And in this case, in case of update, the ID will be greater than 0. In that case, we are going to set the rule and we update the user information and display message as a user updated successfully. Now quickly continue the session and implement delete. So now let's implement the delete. How can we delete the records from the database? So again, we have this user delete request, and we are going to create a get mapping for this request as well. When user will click, we will click on the delete. We will call it delete service. So let's quickly move to the service first and create a delete service. So I just go here, public. We can say void because we don't want to return anything from here. So delete, and it will take ID as a input parameter because which ID we need to update. Okay. So what we can sort of say, we can say user dot delete by ID, and I will pass my ID here. Okay, we can return the DTO as well, but for now we are learning, so just keep it simple. So delete here into the user controller, we can implement another method that is will be get mapping, and here we will call a mapping with a name as a user delete. Make sure the mapping call should be same, and we'll create a method here as a delete. Okay, we're going to pass some parameter, common parameters here. So it will be user form, model will be there, request param. In request param, we will always get the ID. So from here that we are passing, just to me verify this form, this API calls user delete, and am I calling the correct one? Yes, we have correct. Now it will return a method, but before it will return some on the string. So where we need to redirect this user, we need to redirect this user to user list page. So I just return this and it is gone. And now from the user service, I need to call user service dot delete, and I pass that ID of that user that I want to delete. And then as a model, what I can do, the model dot add attribute, and here I can say bean, no, not a bean. I'm gonna say success, and here into this success, what I need to pass, I need to pass a message here, user is deleted. Okay, good thing that's quickly done. Now let's check the features. I'm clearing the console, go again to the user list. Okay, I just logged in here, log in as an admin, go to the user list, and let's delete this record. I just deleted it. It says user is deleted, but showing blank now. But you can see user is deleted. Again, if I delete this miles, it will be deleted. But while we returning after deleted, showing nothing. So what I need to show display here, I need to display some value. What is the value? We can do two things there. We can redirect the user to this user list, or we can directly call copy this code. So let me quickly redirect. I can say redirect. So return to, okay, not return. Okay, for now I'm just implementing a basic thing, and later on I will show you how can we redirect user to this API again. Okay, so I'm just copying this code here, this much. That's fine. Okay, and I'm adding this code. It means after deleting, it will say the success message and it will again get the data of the user list and then filter the data and then it will display over there. This time, if I delete any record, it should display the proper data over there. So I just delete it and now showing the data. It's fine. We can add the data now. Let's quickly add the data. Submit. List is there. Let's edit this data. I just edit the name. Okay, it's updated. Now we can delete. So complete CRUD operation is there. For a simple CRUD operation for the project is ready. In the next session, what we are going to work, we are going to design a proper home page and then we'll check this profile option, how can we implement and update the user profiles, and then move to the bug tracking system, like adding the bugs, how can we upload the images, bugs, images, and all that things. So if you're liking the video, please, if you learning something, please subscribe the code one. We need your support to create our live projects and this kind of projects on the live environment. So you can learn from that. How can we develop this kind of applications and Spring Boot? Thank you for watching.